as you saw in the news, R.Kelly's lawyers, they came out asking Donald Trump for a pardon because they're saying the feds are technically trying to kill R.Kelly, unalive him, get him out of here. And he's saying that agents have been sent in that work with the feds to enact these, this crime to get him out of here. When you first hear that, knowing R.Kelly, knowing the man that you spoke with, knowing the situation of the system that he's in, because now they moved him to North Carolina, what would you say to what his thought process was? Do you feel like the feds, agents were really trying to take him out of there? And plus, just having a Tory Lane, so I can understand him saying, I don't want this to happen to me.
Well, I think people could read between the lines if they've been paying attention. Like if you look at even the last interview I did with you on Prison Story, I explained how R. Kelly was safe because of me. But I mean, for him and his family to hear stuff like that, people would take that as a threat. You know what I'm saying? Like that could easily be taken as an indirect threat, basically saying if it wasn't for me, something would have been happened to you. So I think R. Kelly actions is not because of that, because even when we was there, it was people who wanted to do stuff to him. Like in particular, the statute of limitation up on that now, so I could speak more about these things. But in particular, this dude Snake, right? This dude Snake, he used to rape people in MCC Chicago, right? And he knew R. Kelly was vulnerable, but I wanted to do a book with R. Kelly, and I felt like he should be safe because he wasn't convicted on nothing. And then we had looked at his paperwork, and it was a lot of things in his paperwork that you would look at and be like, well, damn, he was set up by this girl and her parents. Like the phone records show that. So it's like we can't hold them accountable, because they do it to all Black influential people, from Tyson to Michael Jackson, Tupac, Kobe Bryant. So that's how I was looking at it. But there was people who wanted to do stuff to him there, but he was safe because of certain people. And I don't want to sound like I'm no more of a person than I am, but I'm probably one of the reasons why he was safe at that time. And with regards to his current situation, now look, you saw recently I've been doing a mainstream media campaign with the white robe that resemble the KKK, and some people that offend a lot of people, but some people understand the gimmick in that.
Yeah, but can you explain that? Yeah, can you explain that real quick?
Well, look, I've been in front of not any like medium outlet. I've been in front of mainstream mediums like Fox, ABC, CBS, and going in front of all of their stations in this KKK outfit, because the $1 billion marketing companies and governments and everybody invest billions annually into advertising, and this advertising is all about getting people attention. So with me being the small guy to these $1 billion corporations, they could pay $1 billion annually for the type of attention that they need from the people to be able to program their minds to believe what they want them to believe. But people like me or Kanye West, we don't have these $1 billion machines behind us, so we have to take other means to get the attention that we need from the masses to let them know what's going on in the world. So sometimes it takes drastic measures, and sometimes you even gotta evoke the spirits of the ancestors who went through slavery and went through being lynched and all that to remind people of what happened to them. So that's all I'm doing, and that's all I was doing. But another thing about that in R. Kelly's situation is that he been saying that the Aryan Nation is the ones who trying to kill him in there, right? So it's the history behind all that. Like the GDs and other Black organizations and gangs like that was started at times where, like in prison, the people like the Aryan Nation was killing people like me in prison. On the streets, they was dressed in blue suits. So these same clans people, switched their uniforms to blue suits and became police, and they was sticking dogs on our people. And even to this day, they kill our people. You know what I mean? So for me, to put that on is to bring light on other things, including R. Kelly's situation. Like, it's not gonna be one of us they kill him in there. Just like with Tory Lanez, it wasn't one of us. They used the Mexican. They when they got these type of hits on your head, they use different type of people, and they try to make it to the point where it's like, where did this even come from? You know what I mean? Like, for example, if Jay-Z put a hit on Tory Lanez, which he probably did, I'm pretty sure his Tory Lanez father believes that genuinely and has a reason to. But Jay-Z also has issues with R. Kelly, and so does Diddy. R. Kelly know a lot of things, and I've been told a lot of those things by R. Kelly. I was in there with the man for 21 months, so I know what he going through. I know the dangers and the threats that's on his life right now, and I do hope that they pardon him, because I think that he suffered enough for anything that he may be guilty of doing. You know what I mean? And there are people who want to kill him. So, like, for example, that they got the Aryan Nation trying to kill him. The people like Jay-Z and Diddy, like, white supremacy go a long way. White supremacy go a long, long way. People play with these gangs and act like they so above in society when you tied in with certain street gangs, but that white supremacy go like way, way deeper than you can ever imagine. Like, not just in the United States, but in the geopolitical realm, like international politics as well. Like, they got stuff on like everywhere, even in Africa. They colonized most of Africa. You know what I mean? And took over all the resources there, took over all the resources in the Middle East, and those type of issues play a major part in the prison systems. And people with small minds just don't see that, but we just like the peons in the overall scheme of things.
So let me ask, someone like R. Kelly or any type of celebrity. I talked to another guy on prison stories, and he said normally when something kicks off in prison, you technically mind your business. Like, whether it's a fight, a stabbing, or something, you really just kind of get out the way. If anything, let the guards handle that. You don't jump in. But when it comes to like a celebrity status of somebody who has notoriety, do the guards like take extra care with them, watch them kind of a little closer? Do the inmates kind of be on their side a little closer to make sure nothing happened to them?
Well, no disrespect to the dude who told you that, but the first thing when stuff go down in prison, the first thing you look at is who is this going down with? Because, like, from my perspective, like, I'm not no big gang banger who just glorify the gang culture, none of that. But I was tied in with the GDs because of my upbringing. So when things go down there, you look at if it's one of yours. If it's not one of yours, then yeah, we all fall back, because it could be the Vice Lords, it could be the Aryan Nation, it could be the Latin Kings, and nation business is nation business. That's how we respect each other. Like, we stay in our own business and we let everybody else do them, and they stay in their own lane by their own business. So the first thing you look at when stuff like that go on is like, is it one of mine? If it's not, then yeah, you fall back. But if it is, then you do what you got to do to protect you and yours. But we really need to rewind this back a little bit. It was a time where Larry Hoover, all the other gang leaders, all Aryan Nation leaders of every like organization and cult, they all had this big like gang riot back in the day, and a lot of people got killed. I think at least 8 people got killed. And what's going on with R. Kelly right now it stemmed from that. When you in the feds, like R. Kelly in the feds, he in Butner, North Carolina right now, and he been there since he left where he was at with me. And everywhere in the feds, the politics is deeper than it is on the streets. And when you lose like your protection, like some people like R. Kelly, they gotta pay for safety. If you ain't tied in with no gang or nothing, then you get extorted. And if you don't got nobody you paying to keep you safe, you could easily get killed. You could get raped. Like rape ain't as common in prison as these movies make it seem, but it do happen in there. And they prey on the weak. And people like R. Kelly are considered the weak. You know what I mean? So I just want to state that again because I still got love for R. Kelly. I don't really think he guilty of a lot of things people think he guilty of, and I do think he should be free right now. So I'm worried about his safety as well, even though his family could try to blame me for what's going on with him in there. But
what make you say that he's weak? Because I'm assuming you're not talking about just his strength, physical strength. What makes you say like a person like R. Kelly's weak in the penal system?
well, it's just like on the streets when you get a certain amount of money, you get to the point where you feel like your guys, you don't know who to trust, so you want people around you who you know really gonna ride if it go down. In prison, it's kind of the same way. Like, despite what people think about him out here, R. Kelly's still one of the biggest names in the world. Now, in a place like in prison, most of us don't look at him like that because it's not the people like that who run things in the prison. It's the gang leaders, the gang members, you know what I mean? So he wasn't that much of a factor, but he's still a big name. And some people will look at you as food when you got a name like that. Even though, like MCC Chicago, we all realized that he really didn't have money. Like they took all the money off his books at once then, and he really didn't. Like the people who was actually supporting him, he had support, but the people who was supporting him didn't have no money. So, like he probably would have been extorted, but it's like he didn't have nothing to give at the time. So fast forward into now, people still look at him like, even if you can't help or support nobody, like we can't extort you because you don't got none. But people still look at him like you you want to be safe in here. You care about your life more than anybody else up in here. You are Kelly, and you really not safe because there's people in here who don't got no life, don't got no loved ones, and they kill you just to go on the news and say I'm the one who killed R. Kelly, and he know that. And it's people who do want to kill him. Like he worth $1.2 billion still, even though he don't got no money. And it's people who don't want him to ever get his money back. People in Sony, people in Rock Nation. You know what I mean? So he definitely in danger, and I do hope he get the support he need to get out.